1. When designing Scrum training for experienced professionals, which adult learning principle is most critical? A. Memorization of Scrum Guide terminology. B. Immediate application to real team challenges. C. Instructor-led lectures only. D. Uniform pacing for all learners. 2. Which evaluation method best measures whether a Scrum team is improving its effectiveness? A. Attendance at Scrum events. B. Sprint goal achievement and team self-assessment trends. C. Number of story points completed. D. Individual performance ratings. 3. What should be the primary foundation of a Scrum curriculum? A. Organizational hierarchy. B. The Scrum Guide and empirical process control. C. Tool-specific workflows. D. Agile myths and misconceptions. 4. How should mentors best support new Scrum Masters? A. Directing all decisions. B. Coaching through observation, questioning, and reflection. C. Taking over facilitation responsibilities. D. Limiting exposure to team conflict. 5. Which communication skill is most critical for effective sprint retrospectives? A. Persuasive speaking. B. Active listening and facilitation of open dialogue. C. Status reporting. D. Conflict avoidance. 6. What adult learning strategy best supports understanding Scrum roles? A. Role memorization. B. Scenario-based role simulation. C. Reading role descriptions only. D. Observing without participation. 7. How does regulatory compliance most commonly affect Scrum in regulated industries? It replaces Scrum events. B. It requires integrating compliance activities into the Scrum framework. C. It eliminates self-organization. D. It prevents iterative delivery. 8. Which artifact best demonstrates a team's adoption of Scrum principles? A. Detailed project plans. B. A transparent product backlog aligned to value. C. Individual task lists. D. Management status reports. 9. What curriculum design best supports long-term Scrum mastery? A. One-time certification boot camp. B. Iterative learning with practice, reflection, and feedback. C. Independent reading only. D. Tool-based training exclusively. 10. How should formative evaluation be used in Scrum training? A. Only at the end of the course. B. To continuously adjust learning and team practices. C. To rank learners. D. To replace mentoring. 11. Which assessment best measures a learner's ability to apply Scrum empiricism? A. Written definitions. B. Analysis of sprint outcomes and adaptations. C. Vocabulary quizzes. D. Attendance tracking. 12. What communication breakdown most undermines Scrum effectiveness? A. Excessive transparency. B. Lack of clarity around sprint goals. C. Frequent feedback. D. Cross-functional collaboration. 13. How should curriculum developers integrate the Scrum values? A. Teach them as definitions. B. Embed them in activities, reflection, and team norms. C. Address them only in orientation. D. Exclude them from assessment. 14. Which adult learning approach best supports understanding of servant leadership? A. Authority-based instruction. B. Reflection on real leadership behaviors and outcomes. C. Memorization of leadership traits. D. Lecture-only delivery. 15. What evaluation method best assesses Scrum Master facilitation skills? A. Knowledge exams. B. Observed facilitation with rubric-based feedback. C. Peer popularity surveys. D. Certification completion. 16. When mentoring product owners, what is most important? A. Writing detailed requirements. B. Maximizing value through backlog refinement and stakeholder collaboration. C. Controlling team tasks. D. Focusing only on deadlines. 17. How should Scrum training address stakeholder communication? A. Limit stakeholder involvement. B. Teach transparent, frequent, and value-focused communication. C. Centralize communication through management. D. Avoid difficult conversations. 18. Which adult learning principle best supports continuous improvement in Scrum? A. Fixed processes. B. Reflection and adaptation. C. Instructor authority. D. Standardized solutions. 19. What regulatory consideration most directly affects Scrum documentation? A. Marketing guidelines. B. Auditability and traceability requirements. C. Sprint velocity targets. D. Team size limits. 20. How can mentors help Scrum teams manage conflict constructively? A. Suppressing disagreement. B. Facilitating respectful dialogue focused on goals. C. Escalating all conflict to management. D. Avoiding retrospectives. 21. Which curriculum adjustment best addresses misuse of daily Scrum? A. Eliminating the event. B. Reframing it as a planning and inspection opportunity. C. Extending its duration. D. Turning it into a status meeting. 22. How should feedback be delivered during Scrum coaching? A. Publicly and critically. B. Timely, specific, and focused on behavior and outcomes. C. Only in writing. D. Without discussion. 23. Which evaluation approach best captures long-term Scrum maturity? A. Single sprint metrics. Trends in value delivery, adaptability, and team health. C. Certification counts. D. Tool usage statistics. 24. What mentoring approach best builds team self-management? A. Command and control leadership. B. Gradual removal of constraints with coaching support. C. Strict rule enforcement. D. Manager-led decision-making. 25. How should Scrum education respond to changes in the Scrum Guide? A. Ignore minor updates. B. Integrate updates into training and practice discussions. C. Delay adoption. D. Apply changes only to exams. 26. Which communication strategy best supports trust within a Scrum team? A. Selective transparency. B. Consistent openness and honesty. C. Authority-based messaging. D. Minimal interaction. 27. What role does mentoring play in Scrum compliance within regulated environments? A. Replacing formal controls. B. Helping teams adapt Scrum while meeting compliance needs. C. Eliminating documentation. D. Delegating responsibility entirely. 28. How should Scrum curricula balance framework rules and team context? A. Enforce rigid implementation. B. Teach principles first, then contextual adaptation. C. Allow unlimited customization. D. Ignore framework boundaries. 29. Which adult learning strategy best supports learning from failed sprints? Assigning blame. B. Structured retrospectives and experimentation. C. Ignoring failures. D. Increasing oversight. 30. How should evaluation data from Scrum training be used? A. Stored for records only. B. To improve curriculum, coaching, and team outcomes. C. Used only for certification. D. Shared without explanation. 31. What mentoring behavior best supports ethical Scrum leadership? A. Manipulating metrics. B. Modeling integrity, transparency, and respect. C. Avoiding accountability. D. Prioritizing speed over values. 32. Which activity best demonstrates understanding of sprint review purpose? A. Internal team demo only. B. Collaborative inspection of increment with stakeholders. C. Status reporting. D. Backlog reprioritization in isolation. 33. What is the most effective way to sustain Scrum effectiveness over time? A. Strict process enforcement. B. Continuous learning, inspection, and adaptation. C. Repeated certification. D. Tool optimization only. 34. When evaluating Scrum training effectiveness for adult learners, which metric provides the most meaningful insight? A. Course completion rates. B. Observable changes in team behavior and outcomes. C. Trainer experience level. D. Number of slides delivered. 35. Which curriculum element best supports mentoring new Scrum practitioners in complex environments? A. Prescriptive checklists. B. Case studies drawn from real organizational constraints. C. Tool configuration guides. D. Fixed implementation templates. 36. How should Scrum educators address resistance from experienced professionals? A. Enforce compliance through authority. B. Acknowledge experience and connect Scrum concepts to existing expertise. C. Ignore resistance. D. Reduce learner participation. 37. What communication technique best supports psychological safety in Scrum teams? A. Directive instruction. B. Neutral facilitation with respectful inquiry. C. Public critique. D. Silent observation. 38. Which regulatory-focused evaluation practice best aligns with Scrum values? A. Annual audits only. B. Continuous documentation and inspection integrated into sprints. C. End-of-project compliance checks. D. Separate compliance teams outside Scrum. 39. Which mentoring practice best helps Scrum teams internalize accountability without relying on external enforcement? A. Frequent managerial oversight. B. Encouraging teams to set, review, and own their commitments publicly. C. Assigning accountability to the Scrum Master. D. Escalating missed commitments immediately.